Breaking news, Raiders sign a veteran running back. Big news for Raider Nation. After a quiet day in free agency, the team has finally made a move to address the running back position. And no, it's not J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, or Rico Dowdle. Instead, the Raiders landed someone even better. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, the Raiders have signed former Dolphins Pro Bowl running back Raheem Mostert to a one-year deal. The 10-year veteran had an incredible 2023 season, racking up 1,210 rushing yards and leading the league with 21 total touchdowns. This signing is a big addition to Las Vegas's offense, as Mostert reunites with offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, whom he played under during his time in San Francisco. Not long after the news broke, reporter Vic Tafur revealed the contract details. Mostert is signing a one-year, $2.1 million deal, an absolute steal for the Raiders. Once again, the front office has found a way to bring in talent at a bargain price. So far, the Raiders have focused on adding depth across multiple positions rather than signing a blockbuster superstar. They've been smart with their remaining cap space, bringing in players who have the potential to contribute or even revitalize their careers. Mostert, originally an undrafted free agent in 2015, struggled to find his footing in the league before landing in San Francisco in 2016. Under Chip Kelly's system, he finally carved out a role for himself. Fast forward to 2023, and he had a breakout season in Miami, earning Pro Bowl honors. However, after a less productive 2024 season, the Dolphins decided to part ways with him, opening the door for the Raiders to bring him in. This move strengthens Las Vegas's backfield, giving them an experienced and explosive running back who can make an impact right away. Raider Nation, what do you think about this signing? What Raheem Mostert brings to the Raiders? With the signing of Raheem Mostert, the Raiders are adding much-needed depth to their running back room. While it's unclear whether the team sees him as their RB1, that seems unlikely. Instead, he provides veteran experience and a reliable option in the backfield, something the team desperately needed. Mostert is known for his speed, versatility, and familiarity with Chip Kelly's offense. However, the big question remains: can he stay healthy? Injuries have been a concern throughout his career, but if he can stay on the field, this could turn out to be one of the most underrated signings of the offseason, especially for the price. That being said, just because this is a great addition doesn't mean the Raiders are done at running back. Mostert is still an upgrade over last season's backfield, but if the team pairs him with a young running back from the draft, this signing will look even better. Potential targets could include Ashton Genty, Devin Neal, Tre'Veyon Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, or Mario Hampton, any of whom could be a strong complement to Mostert's skill set. The Raiders also still have Sincere McCormick on the roster, and there are rumors that they may be moving on from Zamir White. If that happens, it could signal that the team is planning to bring in another back. Now, some fans might not love this move because of Mostert's age. After all, he's 33 years old. But let's be real, not every signing is going to be a blockbuster move. The Raiders weren't looking to make a splash here. They were looking for a smart, cost-effective addition, and that's exactly what this is. When you consider his experience, production, and price tag, it's a solid move that helps improve the roster. So, Raider Nation, what do you think about the signing of Raheem Mostert? Do you like the move? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Raiders make it official. Gino Smith signs the deal. In other big news, the Raiders have officially signed Gino Smith. The deal is done, pen to paper, which is great news for the team. And honestly, the more time passes, the more I like this move. Looking at how free agency has played out, the quarterback market has been wild. Teams like the Steelers, Giants, Browns, and Vikings are still scrambling to figure out their QB situations, and even Aaron Rodgers has yet to make a decision. With so many teams waiting, it makes me appreciate even more that the Raiders took control of their situation early. Instead of getting caught up in the uncertainty of free agency, the Raiders traded for their guy before the market exploded. If Geno Smith had hit free agency, he'd likely be one of the top quarterbacks available, right up there with Sam Darnold. But instead of overpaying in a bidding war, the Raiders got him for just a third-round pick, a fantastic move that gives them flexibility in free agency. Last season, the Raiders were late to the party, missing out on key free agents and failing to trade for a quarterback before the draft. This time, they were proactive, ensuring they wouldn't be left scrambling for answers. The vibes around the organization are at an all-time high, and Gino Smith is thrilled to reunite with Pete Carroll. If there's one coach who can get the best out of him, it's Carroll. So this pairing makes perfect sense. Experts weigh in on the move. Former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky had high praise for the signing, saying, "I like Geno in Las Vegas. Brock Bowers is really good. I think the Raiders have solid receivers. I'm a big Jacoby Myers guy, but they still need to add some pieces. The offensive line is better than people think, and Geno played fantastic last season behind a bad O-line. But they definitely need to bring in another starting lineman or two." Orlovsky makes a great point. While this move solidifies the quarterback position, the Raiders still need to bolster their offensive line and add more playmakers. If they can do that, Geno Smith will be set up for success in Las Vegas. What do you think, Raider Nation? Was trading for Geno Smith the right move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should the Raiders still draft a quarterback? While Geno Smith gives the Raiders a real chance to compete week in and week out, that doesn't mean they should ignore the quarterback position in the draft. If the right quarterback is available at pick number 6, the Raiders should seriously consider taking him, something Dan Orlovsky also pointed out. The offensive line last season wasn't terrible, and with a few key additions, either through the draft or free agency, the unit should be solid. In fact, some of the struggles may have had more to do with the quarterbacks the team had last season rather than the line itself. Shatter Sanders at number Aru. If Shader Sanders starts to slide in the draft and is available at number 6, the Raiders shouldn't hesitate to take him. He has all the tools to develop into a great NFL quarterback, and pairing him with Geno Smith as a mentor, along with Pete Carroll's coaching, could be the perfect situation for his growth. Of course, there's always the concern that Sanders might not want to sit for a year or two, but that's where Pete Carroll's leadership comes into play. He's a player's coach who will always put the best player on the field. If Sanders comes in and outperforms Geno Smith in training camp and preseason, then starting him from day one could be a win for the Raiders. We've seen this type of situation before. Remember when Seattle signed Matt Flynn to a big contract, expecting him to be their starter? Then they drafted a guy named Russell Wilson, who won the job outright in camp. If the Raiders find their future franchise quarterback, they should let the competition play out and put the best guy under center. Stefon Diggs to the Raiders? Not so fast. There was some buzz recently after Geno Smith posted a story on social media, and Stefon Diggs was spotted in the same workout session alongside several other players. Naturally, fans started speculating. Could Diggs be heading to Las Vegas? I get it. At first, I thought the same thing, but after looking into it, I realized that people were just reading too much into it. It was simply a group of players training together, not an indication that Diggs is on his way to the Raiders. Would I take Stefon Diggs on the Raiders? Honestly, no. There's no denying his talent. He's still one of the top wide receivers in the league, and he could be a true WR1 for the Raiders. But with all the drama and distractions he brings, I'd rather pass. That's just my take, though. Some fans might feel differently. Could the Raiders target Cooper Kupp? Another receiver that has caught the attention of Raiders fans is Cooper Kupp. The Rams have officially released him, meaning he's now available for any team to sign. And since the Raiders need a receiver, could he be a potential target? According to Diana Rossini, multiple teams are already showing interest. She mentioned that some teams are looking to make a push for him, and even Tom Brady has always been a fan of Kupp's game. But are the Raiders actually willing to pay the price to sign him? Why I would pass on Kupp. As great as Cooper Kupp has been, he's had an incredible career and was once one of the best receivers in the NFL. I just don't see this move making sense for the Raiders. This feels like a Jordy Nelson type situation, where a once elite receiver signs late in his career but doesn't have much left in the tank. Sure, Kupp could still be a solid wide receiver 2 or 3, but at this point, I'd rather invest in younger talent. The Raiders could draft a receiver or sign a different free agent. Guys like Amari Cooper or even Tyler Lockett would be more appealing options. What do you think, Raider Nation? Would you want the Raiders to sign Cooper Kupp, or should they look elsewhere?